Hey house guests, welcome to today's bbcan 9 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day are Raul Aguilar and Nicole and Kennedy Miller. Thank you all so much for the support. We could not do this without you and we appreciate it so much, so thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below because it's only $1 for a holla. Okay, when we left off yesterday, we've got Tina and Tara up on the block. And Tara won the power veto. What? So now Jed and the throuple are leaning towards putting up Kiefer as the replacement nominee and sending him to the jury house. Oh my god. This is a big move for Jed. Kiefer would have a huge chance of winning if he can make it to the final two. So this is a big deal. And Kiefer's got a big resume, so Jed taking him out is a big move for his own resume. So now the throuples try to figure out how/when to tell Kiefer. Because they don't want to just blindside him with this, you know. He's done a lot for them throughout this game. So they want to at least tell him beforehand and give him that. So, it took a while. But yesterday, Kiefer was in the HOH room with Jed at one point. And Kiefer asks, "Hey, Jed, how'd your talk with Brayden go?" And Jed was like, "It was pretty good." He says Brayden expects to go up and assumes that everyone has been pitching for him to go up. That's a lie. Jed talked to Brayden about putting up Kiefer. So Jed asks what Tina and Tara have been saying to Kiefer. And Kiefer says they're under the impression that I could be going up. And Jed's like, "They are? Why?" He said, "I told them that Brayden's going up, so, like, I don't know why they're saying that. You know, they're always so paranoid. It's ridiculous." So Kiefer's like, "I don't think you would actually put me up." But he's like, "We just gotta stick together, man." I gotta say, Jed did not really give Kiefer the reassurance that he was looking for here. He could have emphatically been like, no, you're not going up on the block, no way. But he didn't. So that should be a huge red flag to Kiefer. So Tina and Tara check in with Jed separately. Tina has a quick chat with Jed, and Jed is telling her, "Don't worry, you're going to be fine this week." He's playing it off like Brayden's going up and out. But Jed was also hinting that they're getting down to it now, and tough moves are going to have to be made. Wink, wink. Like this week. Like your buddy Kiefer. So Tina's like, "Yeah, of course. Sure." But she heard Brayden's going up, and she was like, "Yes, that's what I want." So then Jed had a long chat with Tara, and they talked about a lot of different stuff. But the big thing here, they discussed what a huge threat Kiefer is to win this whole entire thing. So Jed admits, yeah, that's been on his mind this week. And he says, "We're thinking the same thing, but neither of us wants to say it out loud." So they agree. They're not really sure if Kiefer is more with the trio or if he's more with Tina and Tara, because he has been playing the middle perfectly, and they're not sure they're not sure who he would go for if he won HOH again. And another thing that they are not really feeling about Kiefer right now, he's been telling everyone that he's going to win the whole entire thing if he makes it to the end. And that's kind of off-putting to everyone else who is also trying to win. And they're like, "Wow, he's so confident. You know, maybe I should just take him out because he says he's going to win and I want to win." So, yeah. Tara says she's not even going to tell Tina about this conversation because Tina is closer to Kiefer and this can just stay under wraps for now. So after Tina and Tara check in, they're telling each other about their conversations with Jed, and Tara says, "I feel like Jed's sticking with the plan, like to put up Brayden." She doesn't tell Tina about the Kiefer stuff. She really is just keeping that between the two of them for now. So then Tina was chatting with Beth outside a little later, and they're discussing again how the ladies need to stick together. This is something that Beth has been pushing a lot lately. They were talking about how the men get so much more credit by doing less with the jury at the end. They do have an easier time with the jury, you know? It's unfortunate, but it is true. And I think Beth here is just covering her bases, saying like, oh, we need to stick together. I think she's also trying to set herself up for some votes. If she's got Tina and Tara in the jury, maybe she can get them to vote for her with all this like, yay, women talk. I think Tina could be serious about going to the end with Beth, because let's be real, does Tina want to go to the end with Beth, or does she want to go with like Ty and Jed, who she is definitely not going to beat? But yeah, Beth says it would be really cool to have the Sunsetters all go to the Final Five, but if we did that, we would basically be handing Kiefer the game. So now Tina is hearing like, yes, Kiefer could be going up on the block. So Beth says the seed has been planted with Jed. You know, the ball is in motion here. And Tina's like, yeah, we're getting to the point in that game where we need to start thinking about the outside option. So Tina's really playing it cool here. She does not want Kiefer to be going up on the block against her. She doesn't want to lose Kiefer. I'll get to that in a minute. But, like, she's playing it cool here. And I think it's giving off the wrong vibe to the throuple. They're taking that as like, oh, wow, Tina's okay with this. So, like, we don't have to worry about upsetting her by taking out a Sunsetter. So Beth says Kiefer won't take a shot against the guys. He wants to win against Jed. He's got that whole mentality of to be the best, you have to beat the best, which is true. It does seem like Kiefer wants to go up against Jed or Ty in the end and be like, woo, look, I beat them. But Beth says it would be a game-winning move for one of us to take out the guys. That would be a huge deal. So Beth says she thinks Kiefer is the move this week. And Tina, again, playing it cool, is just like, I don't know. I'm torn about it. I don't know. She does not want Kiefer to go. She's hoping that Brayden will go up and out. But Beth says, you know, I know it's hard because we're all Sunsetters here, but if Kiefer were to go this week, that would not be on us. Like, Tina, you're up on the block, so, like, you had nothing to do with this. And Jed is the HOH this week, so he can take the blame for that. But Tina says it's tough because Kiefer has been so loyal to the group. So after this conversation ends, Tina says to herself, like, under her breath, F, how do I deter that? How do I deter that? How do I change that? Let him go. I honestly don't think that Kiefer would be going to the end with Tina and Tara, even though it would be a slam dunk for him to win against them. I think he wants to go the harder route and beat Jed or Ty. So it just blows my mind that Tina is like trying to keep Kiefer off the block when he's not working for her. He's not doing anything for her. And she's on the block. What? But anyway, Tina's freaking out now. She talks to Tara in the Destiny bedroom, and she's like, Trust Tree? I think Kiefer's going up on the block as the replacement. And Tara's like, I don't know. But if it happens, I'm going to vote for you to stay, so it's fine. Tara is not really fretting over Kiefer potentially leaving. When she was talking to Jed, she was asking him, so when I was up on the block last week, was Kiefer ever, like, campaigning for me to stay, or was it, like, to get rid of Victoria? And Jed said, you know, Kiefer kept saying over and over again that Victoria was better for his game. And Tara was like, oh. So she was not happy about that. But I think Tara sees the bigger picture here. Like, Kiefer is not with us, so it doesn't really matter if he goes. So, anyway, Tina says that's probably why they're doing it. They want to put Kiefer up against me because they know that you will not vote me out. So Tina's like, I don't know if I should push for Brayden to go up. You know, go talk to the throuple and push that. Oh my god. And Tara says, if you push for Brayden, it's probably going to look like you're trying to protect Kiefer. Yeah. So she's saying it's out of our control. You know, there's nothing we can do about this. It's not our fault. And especially since Kiefer has been going around telling everybody that he's going to win this whole thing. Like, he played himself with that. So Tina's like, yeah, I guess I can't really lobby one way or the other because I'm on the block this week. And Tara's like, yeah, and you can't say anything to Kiefer about this either because if that gets back to the throuple, we're going to be in trouble. All right. Meanwhile, Kiefer's in the HOH room with Ty and Beth. And Kiefer's like, so are we going to tell Brayden that he's going up before the POV ceremony? Beth says, I just feel like this is a day where everyone's avoiding things. You can say that again. So Ty's like, no, I don't think we're going to tell him because we didn't tell Spicy V, and, you know, we were way closer to her than we are to Brayden. So then Kiefer's like, no, but, like, once Brayden's on the block, are we going to tell him that he's going? Because he thinks that he's going to stay against Tina. And Kiefer's like, I think we should just, like, deliberate, not actually, for a few days, and then tell Brayden that he's going. And Ty agrees. He's like, yeah, Brayden's a great guy, so, like, yeah, we'll do that. This conversation was so awkward because Beth and Ty know it's not going to be Brayden going up on the block. It's going to be Kiefer. But Kiefer is looking for that reassurance, like, yes, Brayden is absolutely going. Like, we can tell him right now. And he's not getting that. So, back to Tina. She just can't help herself. She said that she wasn't going to be pushing for Brayden to go up on the block, but she is. So, she was chatting with Jed outside, and Tina's like, oh, so, what are you thinking for the replacement nominee? Are you still thinking Brayden, or other options, or Brayden? And Jed says, yeah, I'm leaning towards Brayden. No. So Tina's like, yeah, that would be my gut. My gut's telling me that it should be Brayden because he could be a dangerous wild card. Whereas Kiefer is loyal. So she says at the end of the day, you got to do what's best for your game, and I will respect whatever you decide to do. So Jed's like, oh, I really appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. And he tells Tina again, you're going to be good no matter what. Like, I promised you I'm going to put up somebody against you that will go home, and that's what's going to happen. I'm going to follow through with that. So, again, the way that Tina is playing it cool, Jed took this conversation as Tina being okay with Kiefer going this week. So it kind of had the reverse effect of what she was going for. But a little later, Kiefer was chatting with Ty in the kitchen, and it seems like Kiefer's getting really nervous here. He can tell things are off. So Kiefer says, Brayden seems way too comfortable right now, and it's making me uncomfortable. Like, why is he feeling so safe? Like, things are not adding up here. So Kiefer says, I just hope my loyalty is gonna get me far, because I've stuck my neck out for us multiple times, and there were times that I could have, and Ty finishes the thought, burned us? Yeah. So Kiefer says, I'm fine getting taken out by one of you guys, one of the Sunsetters, but not when there's 3 other people left in this house. You know, he wants it to come down to just the Sunsetters, and then they take him out. Or even, like, no more Tina. Just the throuple and him, and then they take him out. That's what he's saying. But, like, he wants to win, duh. But he says, I know, realistically, I'm number 4 in the 4. But I'm betting on myself to win competitions in the end and get myself to that final 2. So Kiefer says, I'd feel a lot better if we could just tell Brayden that he's going. And Ty is playing along with us. He's like, oh yeah, like, I want that too, blah, blah, blah. But Kiefer says, Tina and Tara are kind of getting into my head, saying that I could potentially be going up. And he's like, I just hope it's not my time, because I've done so much for the squad. And Ty's like, yeah, I totally agree. Jed's a loyal guy. Yeah, to the throuple. But Kiefer says, you know, Jed has been saying this whole time, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So I hope he's going to stick with that. And Kiefer is saying, you know, if I was HOH this week, I would take out Brayden and just continue with the plan like we were doing all along. And he's saying, if I win HOH next week, I still want to stick with the 4 of us. Like, I would not come after any of you guys. So then Ty asks Kiefer, like, why are you worrying so much? And Kiefer says, well, Jed is not looking me in the eye lately. And it feels like something changed when Jed won HOH. Yeah, that's a dead giveaway. If people are not looking you in the eye anymore, you're in trouble. So Kiefer says hopefully Jed is going to stick to the plan. He's not. Okay, so then in other news, it sounds like Jed had to pick one house guest to sleep in the ball pit. And he picked Ty, and he told Ty, like, no hard feelings. I think you're going to get a power. And, yeah, I think that's a possibility, too. This whole thing sounds very sus. I mean, the ball pit was closed for days after the HOH competition, and now, like, someone has to sleep in there when no one had to sleep in there all season. Like, what's going on here? So it kind of seems like some sort of a, Sarah Hanlon, Sarah and Brittany were in there in the have not room when they got that secret power. It feels very, very fishy. So we'll see what happens with that. But some other quick stuff from last night. Tara approached Brayden at one point about working together next week, basically. She was like, if I win HOH next week and I make a big move, meaning the trio, can I rely on your vote? And Brayden's like, yeah, of course. So then Brayden briefly talked to the cameras after, and he seemed a little, like, taken aback. He didn't really think that Tara or Tina would want to, like, work with him moving forward. But he seems interested in the possibility. And he said, like, I don't need to tell Beth about this. I can just keep this to myself. Yes, I like that. That's interesting. So that was a fun little tidbit. Also, Ty and Jed talked about going to the final two together. And I don't know if this is 100% for real from either of them. I think, you know, they're definitely at least covering their bases with each other. But if I had to guess, I would say maybe Ty would still go with Jed. But I don't know what Jed would do if he had to pick between Ty and Beth. That would be a tough one for him. So I don't know. But there was also some sort of a weird, like, power outage last night or something. And the feeds were down for a long time. They stayed down until this afternoon. And when the feeds came back, oh my god. Kiefer was in the HOH room with the throuple. This conversation was already in progress when the feeds came back, but oh my god! They were telling him that he was going up on the block. This is before the power veto ceremony. And Kiefer was upset. He was like, really sucks. Really sucks that Jed especially is the one doing this to me. Because Kiefer has talked on and on about how Jed is his boy. Jed is the first person that he chose to be on his team on the first day. So it's like, it sucks that his alliance is turning on him, but he feels even more betrayed that it's Jed who's doing this. So Jed's like, well, I just so happened to be the HOH this week, but it was a group decision. You know, don't blame me completely. So Kiefer's like, I get it. I know where I am in the 4. It's a 3. I see that it's a 3. So, what have we been telling you through the TV screen this whole freaking season? But they talk about Kiefer withholding the invisible HOH information. I mean, that's not actually why they're taking him out. It's something that they're presenting to him as a reason, but the reason is Kiefer's a huge threat to win this whole thing, and they don't want to have to deal with that. They want to take the path of least resistance. So Kiefer feels like keeping that information to himself about the invisible HOH was his biggest mistake. I think it was maybe the tunnel vision for Rohan and, I don't know, not breaking up the trio, but that's just my opinion. I think that was a huge error. So Jed says Kiefer has been loyal to them. They love him, but he's also been playing the middle, and they didn't know what he would do if he won HOH again. So Kiefer's like, if you put me up, I'm going to jury. You know, if you don't put me up, I'll throw HOH next week. Like, I'll do whatever you want. But Jed is saying, like, it's not set in stone yet. I'd love to have further conversations with you this week. Come on, man. You know he's going. You can't come back from this. You can't put him up and keep him. It's not happening. So just rip off the Band-Aid now. But Kiefer says it's all good. I love playing this game with you guys. This really hurts. And Kiefer starts crying. And he says, if you put me up, just send me home because I don't want to play this game like this. I never would have done this to you guys. Yikes. So, I mean, there were also, like, some laughs during this conversation as well. He told them that he would vote for whichever one of the three has the most competition wins at the end. Okay. I'm sorry, but, like, it's kind of annoying when people only base their votes on, like, competition wins. Like, there are other aspects to the game, but whatever. So Kiefer's worried that he's going to look like such an idiot. And Ty says, no, you won't. Remember when this trio was like the 3 votes to evict Kiefer, and then the next week he won HOH and like didn't target any of them? That should have been a huge sign to him. Like, these people are not putting you first. You're a throwaway to them, which sucks to hear, but like, that should have been a huge red flag. So Kiefer says, I don't even want to fight to stay because it hurts. I wish it was Thursday already. And he also expressed some annoyance that Brayden is just floating through this game. He says, I put in work for you guys, and Brayden is like doing nothing. So Jed is saying again, this is purely a game move. It's not personal. We all love you. So it's hugs all around. Kiefer leaves the room, and then the trio just like unleashes their tears. They're all crying, and Ty was really feeling it. Ty was really crying. And Beth says, guys, it's not going to matter when we're all sitting in the final 3. And she says it would be 1,000,000 times worse if it was one of us that was going and Kiefer was doing this to us. So they're talking about how this is going to drive them to get to the end. They're going to win this for Kiefer. And they agree they cannot let Tina, Tara, or Brayden get to the end because they've done like nothing this whole entire game. So Beth then says that Kiefer wouldn't even be there still if it wasn't for them, as much as he wants to think it's the other way around. What? What? How many times has Kiefer saved your asses? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? So I guess their reasoning is that they were like a shield for Kiefer, but like people weren't targeting them either. Like, I don't see that. I think Kiefer was still around because he was playing middle, and that was on him. Like, he was playing the middle really well. But Beth is taking credit for that. Anyway, meanwhile, Tina and Tara are comforting Kiefer while he cries, and he's like, it's all good, it's just a game, go get those guys. And Tara keeps encouraging him, there might be a power, you know, it's not over yet, there might be a power. Tina's telling him not to give up. We'll see what happens. But they had the power veto ceremony, and as expected, Tara used the POV on herself. Why did that sound weird? Use the POV on herself. Okay. My brain is broken. And Jed put up Kiefer. Can you imagine if they had that whole dramatic thing and then he didn't end up putting Kiefer on the block? So now we've got Kiefer versus Tina. And, of course, Kiefer is the target. So it's going to be really interesting to see if Kiefer will start campaigning after he gets over some of the shock of all this and regroups. Because right now he's like, no, I'm going. Like, that's it, whatever. But we've still got 3 days left until the eviction. So you never know what could happen here. I don't know that there would necessarily be as much waffling as there was when Victoria was on the block, because we're in a new game now, baby. You know, the Band-Aid has been ripped off, so I don't know that there would be as much waffling, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of campaign Kiefer will try to put together, if he does. He's already talking about how he's going to be coming back for All-Stars, and he's been talking about that since, like, the beginning of the season, so there's that. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, much love.